Hey girlies and ghoulies,
and welcome to the Girly Ghost Tales podcast.
We're your hosts for this evening. I'm Amber.
And I'm Leah.
And this is a supernatural podcast about ghost stories, ghost hunting, conspiracies, witchcraft, haunted objects, places, even people, and everything in between, with a little bit of girl talk mixed in.
What more could you ask for? We're starting this week strong with the hauntings in Minnesota.
So sit back, grab some popcorn, and get comfy. To the grave we go. So for my topic, I chose the Palmer House in Sauk Centre, Minnesota. It was built in 1901. It was originally built in 1863. And it was used as a brothel, saloon, and a hotel named the Sauk Centre House. It burned down in 1900 and was rebuilt by Ralph L. Palmer and his wife Christina Palmer in 1901. Some reports say that there were people who died in the basement of the fire, but others say that no one perished at the time of the fire. So
really?
Mixed signals, I guess. But Ralph and Christina lived at the hotel with their two children, Hazel and Carlisle. Twilight?
I was literally thinking Twilight.
The hotel was the first building in Sauk Centre with electricity. So when they built it, they wanted it... Yeah, I know, that's crazy. They wanted it to be like a first-class kind of hotel.
Yeah, like the nicer five-star hotel.
The hotel was updated in 1993. It was originally built with 38 small rooms and a guest shared common bathroom down the hall. It now has 19 rooms, each with their own bathroom.
So they all shared one bathroom when
it
was first? Oh,
it's almost like I feel like some bed and breakfasts are like that.
Yeah. And it was a brothel, like, at the same time it was a hotel?
Yeah. Well, that was the original one.
Oh, okay.
So when the Palmers took it over, then it was just like a nice first-class hotel.
Okay.
But even you'd think for like a first-class...
They'd have more than one bathroom.
Yeah. I think it was like maybe each floor had a bathroom.
That would make sense, yeah.
But still. During the Prohibition, rumors spread that tunnels under the hotel took alcohol to other locations in the city. But as of right now, there's no evidence of any tunnels. Like, there's some walls up downstairs in the basement that sound like if you knock on them, they sound hollow behind, so they think. But there's no real proof.
That's strange.
Yeah. The hotel right now provides historic tours along with ghost tours and a ghost hunt in the basement. I never got the lady's name, the last name, but the new owner's name is Kelly. Guests and staff report encounters with a playful spirit named Lucy. She's often seen wandering the halls and the basement. Lucy was said to be a prostitute who died by the hands of her pimp, Raymond, who is also said to haunt room 22. Paranormal encounters have been reported since the 1950s. Servers said that after setting up tables the night before, so like at the end of the night, they like reset the tables for the next day. When they return, the silverware will be moved. There's also a story of a night clerk who had a male guest come down and ask for a beer. After the clerk went into the bar and got him a beer, the guest asked how much it cost and pulled out a $5 bill. The clerk wasn't sure what to do since he had no access to money at the time, so he told the guest that he either needed to drink 4 more beers or wait until tomorrow when he could give him change. The guest gave the clerk $1.25 and went upstairs. The next morning, the clerk told the owner about the interaction with the guest, and the owner stated that there was no male guest staying that matched that description.
Oh, stop.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
That's so scary.
He just wanted a beer.
Yeah, he was just thirsty. I don't know how he had the money. And what did he do with the money? Like, what?
Did he find it? And how could he take it if it was a ghost?
I don't know. Does he still have... did the money... Was the money in the register wherever he put it?
Yeah.
I didn't see that in there. Didn't say. Kelly, the new owner, has said that she's experienced what feels like a hand grabbing the top of her head.
Oh my god.
She's also witnessed seeing a shadow apparition down in the basement.
Raymond?
Well...
Or does Lucy haunt the basement?
Yeah, but she's been said to see, like, a dog-like creature with red eyes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
So, I don't know. I guess her husband also saw the same thing.
Really?
Oof, yeah.
And she owns it right now, then?
Yeah, as far as I know, she still owns it. She was also told by a psychic that there were bones buried in the basement. And when she went down there to dig where the psychic told her, she found what she thought were rib bones. And then she, like, set them aside to show her husband later. And then when she went to go get them, they were gone.
Oh my god.
Like, the box that she put them in was still
Yeah.
there, but the bones were not there.
They didn't want them to find them?
I guess, yeah. And they, as far as I know, haven't found them since.
I wonder what psychic she went to, because obviously she was accurate.
Yeah, well, I read that, like, it was, like, a guest, but then on the Ghost Adventures episode I watched, they said that it was, like, just some random lady who showed up and...
Maybe just felt something
Yeah.
from it.
So, Season 8, Episode 4 of Ghost Adventures, they visited the Palmer Hotel. During the interview with Kelly in the basement, Zach, Kelly, and Nick started to feel a dark energy, and their Mel meter documented a sudden energy presence. So it was like crazy spiking when it was around her. And then during that interview, they also caught an EVP that said, "I'm following her."
Oh my gosh.
And then also one that said, "They're coming to get you."
Oh my god.
And then there was another lady named Chris who visited the hotel. During her interview, the Mel meter went off again around her. Like, it was like crazy spiking.
Yeah.
And then they made her hold it and it went up even higher.
Oh my gosh.
And then they later had gone back after she had left in the same spot she was in with the Mel meter, and it was
nothing.
like, yeah,
Oh my
all
God.
zeros. But she has said to experience some sort of possession in the basement.
Oh my gosh.
So then they brought her back down there to, I don't know, interview her down there. And she had like a physical reaction where she just like started crying. And if you watch the episode, the clip that they have of her, like in her like possession, I don't know, it's kind of weird. She's like, she says something about the dogs, like, the dogs need me, I need to help the dogs or something, which is weird because Kelly's seen a dog like apparition down there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was kind of funny, but it wasn't because it's creepy.
Yeah.
So during the episode, they went to Lucy's room 17, and they did an EVP session, and they asked, "Is there any danger for people in this house?" And a voice was caught saying, "Zach Baggins," and then laughing.
Stop.
It was creepy. It was just Nick and one other guy, not like a guy that was normally a part of their crew. It was just somebody who like came out.
Yeah.
While Zach was in the basement digging in the same spot that Kelly had originally dug to find those bones. He was down there like trying to see if he could find any more. And then that's when it had said Zach Baggins.
They don't want anyone finding those bones.
Yeah.
I wonder what they are, actually.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like a person, because there's really no record of anybody
dying there.
I did see one thing where a guy, I guess, hung himself in the bar.
Oh, really?
But other than that, there's really no big deaths or anything there. So I don't know. Could have been somebody staying there, killed somebody, buried him in the basement. So Lucy supposedly doesn't like men. Which, you know, if she was killed by a man, I don't blame her.
Makes sense.
And then during their investigation, Zach decided to just like mess up the room. He like flipped the mattress off the bed and moved furniture around. Yeah, classic. And then like just trying to provoke her.
Yeah.
And they were... the REM pod had gone off while they were doing that. And then during a spirit box session, Zach felt like he was like almost got tased.
Really?
Like he felt like a shock, and you can hear it through the spirit box. It sounds like a taser kind of sound. And then it had also said Aaron after they'd asked like a few more random questions.
Aaron.
I know. Poor guy.
You can't get a break.
I know. And then Zach said, "Who's here with us?" And it responded, "Goodwin." So,
Oh my gosh.
poor guy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's weird that it had said Zach Bagans and then
Yeah.
also Aaron
Yeah.
Goodwin. Like, it's one thing if it says the first name, but
Mm-hmm.
also
Even
their
like
last
a
names.
full name, like a
Yeah.
full first and last name.
It's crazy.
That feels like it's like powerful too.
Yeah. Not long after they heard Aaron's name, Aaron had heard footsteps running down the hall.
Ugh.
And then after he heard him going like away from the room. And then for the next 30 minutes while they were trying to do like a spirit box session to catch anything else, they heard nothing.
Really?
So they kind of thought like maybe that was a spirit just like leaving. After they finished their investigation in Lucy's room, they were headed back to base to figure out what like their next move was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then Billy, their visual and audio tech, saw on the basement cameras that the REM pod was going off, and he saw an orb like fly through the air, and then there was a cord hanging from the ceiling that was just still, and then after the orb went by, it started swinging.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
That would freak me out.
Yeah.
Bad.
I was like, no thank you, not for me. Weirdly though, I feel like they didn't get too much. They didn't really catch a lot, besides, I mean, the video of the thing swinging in the orb. But Zach, while they were down there, like, started feeling really lethargic, and he was just, like, not feeling good.
Yeah.
But while they were down there, Billy, he was watching the cameras again, and he heard they were in, like, their base was just in one of the hotel rooms, and he had the door open to the hallway, and he saw something out of the corner of his eye, like, go down the hall. And then as he was looking at that, the camera to the basement, like the video that he could see, like, flashed out and came back on.
Oh my god.
Yeah, otherwise there really wasn't much else that happened to them there. Just a few more, like, noises. They left Aaron in the basement by himself, of course.
Of course.
And while he was, yeah, I know. While he was down there, a broom fell over, like, in a whole nother part of the basement. Which they have footage of, like, the broom being perfectly in a spot where it, like, wouldn't fall over.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that's pretty much it.
I wonder if you can, like, stay in one of those rooms, like room 17, or what one was the other one? 22?
22 and 17? Yeah, I think so. They don't, I didn't see anything on their website where they, like, don't.
I wonder how or why Raymond killed Lucy.
Yeah, I don't even know if it was really documented.
Yeah.
That he killed her. I think that's just kind of like speculation.
Lore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just so weird because there really isn't, like I said, a lot of stuff documenting that people died there, but they do get a lot of activity.
How they said, like, the owner was, like, in danger and stuff.
Yeah.
You would think that if she was, like, a good owner and, like, taking care of the hotel, that they would like her and like want her to be there, but maybe they just want to be alone and don't want anybody staying there or anything.
It kind of seems like, I don't know, the stuff that goes on in the basement seems almost like scary, like demonic stuff.
Yeah, that's like what I was thinking when you said the dog with like red eyes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, that freaks me out because I'm not picturing like a dog. I'm picturing like an evil,
like hellhound kind of thing. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I did also see that some people report seeing the Palmer's son Carlisle when like as a boy.
Really?
But he lived like to be an adult, and I don't think he died at the hotel or anything.
That's weird.
I think his spirit just maybe he really liked it.
Yeah.
And so he's seen to just be like peeking around corners, looking down the stairs.
I don't like peeking things.
No, it's children in general. Children ghosts, not for me.
No. Yeah, me either. I want to go there though.
I know. I'm
like kind of scared. I don't think I would go in the basement because of like the evil energy and stuff. That
I'd have to like stay the night and then do the tour the next night and then drive home.
So do they do the tour like at night?
It didn't say. It just said that they offered tours for the basement. They do like historic tours and then they do like ghost tours.
I want to stay in Lucy's room.
Yeah. I just want to know.
Talk to her.
Yeah. See if anything happens.
And she would probably like us.
I think so, yeah.
I wonder, like, what the local people that live around there say about it.
Yeah, because it is like a smaller town.
Yeah, that's what I kind of thought too. I'm surprised I haven't, like, heard about it more.
Yeah.
Like, heard it be talked about more, but that is, like, a small town.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Probably everyone knows about it and they're like, oh, more people.
Right. Tourists.
That's
Okay.
the Palmer Hotel, or known as the Palmer House Hotel.
Mine is also in a very small town, a lot smaller. So, today we're going to talk about one of the most haunted graveyards in America, the Lakeview Cemetery in Buhl, Minnesota. Originally opened in 1913 in a tiny town in northern Minnesota and surrounded by forest on all four sides, sits the Lakeview Cemetery. Next to it, built around the same time, a few years later though, was the Shaw Hospital, which housed patients with mental illness and patients with tuberculosis. The sightings that people have claimed to see there, there's a couple main ones that are like consistent throughout reports. The first one is a 1920s man called the Gatekeeper, is what everybody refers to him as, because he's seen roaming areas by the tombstones and the gate, opening, closing the gate, monitoring who comes in and who leaves. And it's said that he wears a touring cap, which I don't know like what that is.
Yeah.
A touring cap, light shirt, and dark pants.
I wonder, I don't know, that makes me think of like a newsboy hat.
Yeah,
Something like
that's
that
like
is what I
what I
feel
was
like.
gonna look it up and I forgot, but I'm guessing like 1920s, like, yeah, that has to
Something like
be
that. I'd like
something.
that and like a conductor's hat. I don't know. That's
Yeah,
kind of what it makes me think of.
yeah, or like a golf hat or something,
Yeah.
like that you would wear with like a suit, maybe.
Yes, yeah.
That's like what I'm picturing. There's also an urban legend that includes a little boy's apparition in the southwest corner of the cemetery. So, it's said that the number of trees changes after visiting his grave, but only after midnight.
Oh my gosh.
Many visitors experience a dark, shadowy figure creeping along the Potter's Field, which is a field kind of by the cemetery, just off a little trail away from the main part of it, peeking from inside the shed at those who walk by.
Ugh.
Yeah, that.
It's a no for me. Kids, again.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it's a kid or if it's. I think that one might be.
Something pretending to be.
Yeah, I don't know. But I have been in that shed before and it was terrifying.
Ugh.
So the burials at the cemetery began in 1913. There have been many reports of phenomenon, including the feeling of being watched, apparitional figures, disembodied voices, footsteps, mist, flashes of light, and the feeling of breath on your neck. So, right when you pull into the cemetery, kind of like you drive down a path, but right in the center is a shrine with like Jesus and
Ugh.
an American flag. The flag is really tall too, it's like taller than the shrine of Jesus. I do have a picture of it that we could insert into the podcast, but I'll show you what it looks like quick. So that's the shrine and the flag.
Oh, I don't like that.
No.
It looks like I don't know, if it was dark, you would think that was like actually floating.
Right. It's like unsettling even during the day. Like it just looks like there's something off about it. So people say that that's the like darkest, like one of the darkest, most haunted parts of the cemetery is where that shrine is.
Yeah.
I have also been up by it, so I'll talk a little bit about like the experiences I had afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So the Shaw Hospital that was next to it is now torn down. But Dr. A.W. Shaw is the one who founded it, and he opened it. He connected his house to the hospital through an underground tunnel. And the hospital is not there, but his house is still standing, I think. Which is really creepy to think about, and weird that his house was connected to a hospital.
Yeah, I feel like nervous that a patient would
right. I
try
feel
to
like
come in.
I guess back then it was probably more normal because it was such a small town, and they like just built their house and opened the hospital. But it's just weird like that. Imagine like today if there was a hospital connected to someone's house.
My grandma told me that the hospital that used to be here in town used to like have a spot for like the doctor and his family.
Really?
Yeah,
That
like
must have just been like a normal thing
yeah,
then.
just maybe they didn't have to like in case of emergencies or something.
Like on call type
Yeah.
stuff. That would make sense, but it would also be like as a patient, I would be like, I don't want your house connected to where I'm staying.
Yeah, this seems too weird.
So it did make the list of like America's Most Haunted. It is on that list. So if you do search like most haunted places in America or Minnesota, it will be like one of the top of the list. I thought that like Ghost Hunters or Ghost Adventures or Taps or something went there, but I couldn't find anything on it. It says that like the Northern Minnesota Paranormal Investigators went there. So I don't know if that's what I was thinking of, but it is a really big hot spot for people to go and investigate at.
I feel like I've seen a video on it before where it was something like I could have sworn it was something like one of those ghost
I swear
teams.
it was. I thought it was Ghost Hunters.
Yeah,
but I couldn't find anything on it. So
the Mandela effect.
Yeah, seriously. The Buhl Cemetery is the final resting place for patients of the Shaw Hospital. So the Shaw Hospital was built in 1918. It housed mentally ill tuberculosis patients. After it was no longer a hospital, for a while it was a county institution and a nursing home prior to being torn down. It had capacity for 36 beds and some private rooms. Dr. A.W. Albert Shaw was the hospital owner and the main physician there. He was born in Maine in 1871, and after he graduated in 1888, he moved from Maine to Minneapolis, Minnesota.
It's always so weird,
right?
When people move here.
So it says that he moved here because he had hopes of pursuing his dream of entering medical school at the University of Minnesota.
Oh, yeah, because I do think it was like a big school for like medical school.
Yeah, so that does make sense. It just seems weird thinking like, why would you want to move here?
Yeah. Maybe Minnesota. I mean, it's appealing, but I feel like maybe it was more appealing back then.
More appealing to people who don't actually live here.
Yeah. I guess too, because he was from Maine. He's probably used to the cold and the winter. So
yeah. So after he did go to the U of M. He graduated in 1899, and after he graduated was when he built the Shaw Hospital, where he worked until he sold it to the county in 1936. So in 1936 is when it became a county institution for the chronically ill. So some reported sightings from the hospital, some locals who had either family, like parents or something working at the hospital, or family members staying there, report feeling uneasy and nervous while being inside the hospital. So I don't know what originally started like the hauntings, but it was apparently still creepy being in there when like right after it first opened.
Yeah. Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. So
just did not have good energy, I guess.
No, I feel like the whole town of Buhl might just be haunted at this point by something.
Ugh.
So the other part of the cemetery is the Potter's Field. So the Potter's Field is the most unnerving, restless spot in the cemetery. It is a small section in the cemetery across a small path and away from the other main gravestones that you see when you pull in. So you kind of have to walk across a little trail like in the woods to get there. It's just a really short walk, but
Yeah.
it is like separated from like the regular tombstones. So there's 50 plus unmarked graves, only numbers. So it's just an iron cross with a number on it.
That's crazy to me. Like, were they burying people in the other cemetery at the same time they were doing that? And then, like,
They were.
just some people didn't get a nice grave?
So the people that were buried in the Potter's Field were mostly, so during like the early 1900s, like shortly after the hospital and the cemetery was opened, there was a flu epidemic that broke out amidst like the iron miners in the area. Many were immigrants who did not speak English. So, in burying the bodies of those claimed by the sickness, hospital workers were forced to consign the dead to mass graves in the Potter's Field with the unmarked graves. So, partly because they didn't speak English, so a lot of them didn't have documentation to even show who they were.
Yeah.
And it also said that some of the mentally ill patients who couldn't afford or didn't have family to pay for a gravestone were also put in the same spot.
Yeah.
So that makes sense why that's the most
Yeah. I mean, that's
creepy
like,
part of the
yeah.
place.
I guess it's a better option than just like no gravestone or anything, or like a
Right.
head, like at least they got a cross with
Mm-hmm.
a number. But
But I also, if that was me, I would be like, really? I'm just a number.
just a number.
I
I
would
feel like I'd rather
haunt
not
there.
even have a number on
Yeah,
it.
I would rather like not have anything than
Yeah.
have just a cross with a number on it.
Just cremate me.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know why that didn't happen, but I guess I don't know, different times.
Yeah, true.
And so when people go into like the Potter's Field area, most people that go over there have reported feeling tightness in the chest and throat, really heavy feelings of like dread and like nervousness and feelings. One person said like it almost felt like if you had tuberculosis, like they're trying to make you feel how they felt.
That's kind of what I was thinking when you were describing it. I was like, I wonder if it's like
Mm-hmm.
patients who are like
Yeah.
trying to make
Yeah.
you feel what they felt. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't know if they're I'm sure they're like upset that they didn't get a proper burial
Yeah.
and everything. And there's also been a lot of like vandalism, a lot of like
Oh.
teenagers that mess around and like mess with the gravestones and try to get them like riled up to get a reaction. So they're just like disrespectful. So that makes sense um why people would feel like feelings of dread. They probably don't want people coming in there because they
Yeah.
think that you're coming in there to like harm them or their grave or something like
Yeah.
that.
That is supposed to be their final resting
Right.
place.
And then I do have another picture that we can insert that'll show you. That is a picture of when the Shaw Hospital was built, and you can see the doctor's house connected to it on the left or on the right too.
Oh, see, that's even close. I like expected it to be a little farther away, and then like
it's like directly connected to it.
That's crazy.
Like I feel like you could just walk through a door and be in the hospital. So allegedly that house is still standing. I'm not sure. I haven't been to Buhl or the Buhl Cemetery since high school, and I didn't know about like that house or anything, but we could always go drive by, know where it says it's at. We could go see if
it's still there.
Because we are planning on doing a ghost hunt at the Buhl Cemetery. Although after I watched some of the YouTube videos last night on it, I was like, maybe we shouldn't go, because I forgot how scary it actually is.
Ooh, maybe try to go in the evening when it's still light out a little.
Yeah, because there's like the thing about the Buhl Cemetery, like one of the reasons why it's so popular is because there's been so many things caught on camera, like so many like voices or like
Oh.
apparitions or orbs, and even if you go there during the day, like stuff will still happen.
Oh, goodness.
And then this is, let's zoom in anymore. This is a picture of Dr. A.W. Shaw.
Wow, handsome guy. Love the mustache.
He literally looks like such a 1920s
But yeah,
like
classic.
doctor. Yeah.
Oh.
And then so I'll read some stories that people have shared about their experiences there. So the first one, I've been to a couple haunted places, and this was the most active one yet. It seemed all fine and not really haunted until I got near the old tuberculosis cemetery and instantly felt sick. It was almost like I felt like I got tuberculosis. My chest was tight and I couldn't breathe. I also felt so nauseous the whole time until we left the cemetery. I heard random noises, and the shed door was opening the entire time. Also, a bird came out of nowhere in the middle of the cemetery while I was watching the entire time. It made me think of the bird that flew in on our first ghost hunt. Another story, I was walking near the Jesus statue, and me and my friend heard almost like someone was running through the woods. After that, we were walking more, and our dog somehow got out of our car and was running around like crazy. She's a fat bulldog. She usually doesn't run much. And there's like quite a few stories regarding like dogs there, like just barking and going crazy and like running into the woods. So, and I mean, like, I think animals can for sure see things that we can't. I don't know if the spirits there are like trying to play with them.
Yeah, that's what I would like to think.
Yeah, or hopefully they're not like
be mean.
Yeah. Another person said, arrived around midnight, parked in front of the shrine. When we got out of the car, we heard violent tapping from one of the flagpoles. When we shined a flashlight over in the general area, the sound immediately stopped. It was eerily quiet the entire time I was there. When we walked around, we always felt like someone was watching us. There were several times I stopped in my tracks because I felt like someone or something was stopping me or warning me not to continue. And that is like exactly the same way that I felt when me and my friend went there, just like a feeling of like dread and like a feeling like something is wrong and that we shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
So here's another one about a dog. They said, dog went crazy. I brought my mostly mild-mannered dog to the Buhl Cemetery. She would not stop running in circles, barking at the air, dashing from one area of the cemetery to the other. She darted in and out of headstones like crazy. I called her name, attempted to leash her, but she would not come. This is very unusual as we spend a lot of time in the woods together. She eventually ran so far away she disappeared into the woodline, and I could not find her. After an hour of searching and yelling, I started to drive away thinking she would hear me and follow. She did not. I got out of my car because I could not leave her there. Meanwhile, another person drove into the cemetery and parked near Potter's Field. As soon as their car door opened, my dog appeared and leaped into the front seat of the stranger's car. When I finally got to the car to retrieve my dog from this unsuspecting woman, my dog would not leave her car. She then leaped over the seat into her back seat. She would not get out. I had to physically carry this 80-pound dog out of this stranger's car back into my car to get her out of there. She couldn't even breathe. She was panting so hard and could barely stand up. I thought she was going to have a heart attack. She recovered, and I never brought her back again.
Oh my gosh. She must have felt safe in that woman's car.
I wonder if she was running, trying to get away from whatever was
Yeah.
there.
Oh, that's so scary.
I know. Arriving a little before 3 a.m. And parking, I know. We will not be going there at 3 a.m.
No.
We began to hear an unexplainable noise. As I was walking toward Pottersfield and the shrine, I felt the constant feeling of someone behind me. I could hear faint, disembodied voices of a group of people screaming from the field behind the cemetery. I then felt something like breath on the back of my neck. As I was walking up to the shrine, my friend noticed a glowing light of some sort to the left of me. We could not find a source of light to cause this. Coyotes then began howling in the distance. As I began walking to my van, I felt an overwhelming surge of negative energy and dread. I jumped into my van. Before calling it a night and leaving, decided to shut everything off in the van, including lights, to see if maybe we felt comfortable enough to just camp out in the van there. No sooner did I do this when I heard 3 tiny steps right beside the driver's seat door. Majority of the rest of the cemetery felt calm, but as soon as I walked down the middle gravel road to Pottersfield, the energy changed instantly. We did also find it somewhat alarming when 3 different times the entire cemetery went dead silent. No crickets, no wind, ear slicing silence I've never experienced in my life before. I plan on revisiting this place very soon with a little more equipment. One of the scariest places I've ever had the pleasure of experiencing.
I don't like the 3 footstep
Yeah,
sounds or whatever.
I know, because 3 is like supposed to be like a bad, like
Yeah.
evil, like they're
Mocking of the
mocking.
Trinity.
Yeah.
I just also like, oh, I don't know. Thinking about camping out. It couldn't be me.
Mm-mm. No.
Like, I
Yeah.
mean, they're already there at 3 a.m. How much worse could it get, I guess?
Yeah, I don't know. I have gone there a few times in high school, because like when we were in high school, there's nothing to do like
Yeah.
on the Iron Range. Like there's nowhere to go. There's a movie theater. There wasn't even a Walmart like when I was growing up.
Yeah.
There's a movie theater, and the Buhl Cemetery is where everybody went to go on like Friday nights or on the weekend to scare each other. So a few times that I went there, I was with people that were like, we were teenagers, so we were like messing around and like probably not being the most respectful. Well,
Yeah.
not me personally, but people that I was with. And like the feeling that I felt being there is just like, I don't even know how to like explain it. It's just like how all these stories were just like the feeling of like dread. Like it just feels like there's like a pit like in your stomach, and that you shouldn't be there, or like you're not
Yeah.
welcome there.
Ugh.
Um, but I did experience like, so by the Jesus shrine where the flag is,
Mm.
I had a video on my super old Pantech phone that I used to have. I wish I still had it. But the American flag was just like blowing like that. There was like no wind. And then as soon as we like moved the camera up to record it, it dropped
Of
and did not
course.
move.
Ooh.
And so before we were looking at it, we heard like the tapping, like the metal, like, the
Oh,
sound of like a
yeah.
pole. We heard like tapping coming from it.
Ugh.
And even just standing like within 10 feet of like the shrine is just, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Like it just feels
I
bad, and
just.
like there's a dark presence there watching you.
Is it like lit up at night?
No.
No. Oh, that's
Mm-mm.
even worse. Well, I don't know
But
actually.
people say that you can see a glowing light even though there's no light coming from anywhere, and I did see that too. And then I tried to um, get a picture of um, the shed there. It's on a couple YouTube videos. If you look up on YouTube, like Buhl Cemetery, you'll be able to see the shed I'm talking about. I don't know what. I'm guessing it's just for whoever the maintenance person is to keep stuff
Oh,
in
yeah,
to
like
like
lawn care
maintain,
stuff.
but
Yeah.
it's just old and like creepy, and there's just stuff thrown around everywhere.
Ugh.
And that's the shed that people say they like feel someone watching them from.
Yeah.
So me and my friend did go in there in high school at night, and I literally was hyperventilating, and like we ran back into her car and we were like both crying, and the gate was closed when we left, and I still don't know how it closed. But it wasn't locked. So like she drove her car and literally drove her car into the gate.
Just like
and
pushed it open.
Yeah.
That's what I would have done too. I'd be like, I'm not getting out.
Yeah, no. It was scary. I think that was actually the last time I was there. And I was probably like 16 or 17. We did also go there on Halloween one night.
Ooh.
And there were a bunch of kids there though, so
Yeah.
it wasn't, there was nothing really that happened that night because we kind of left quickly. But I didn't read about like the gatekeeper until recently, and I feel like that's why the gate was closed when we left, because it definitely was not closed when we got there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's like he's trying to trap people in there or what, but yeah, it was really creepy. Haven't gone back there since. I forgot how scary it is being in there, but I do want to go there to do our ghost hunt, because I'm sure we'll get activity there.
For sure. It sounds like it.
Ugh. Yeah, we'll have to go around like 6 or something, or 7, when it's not like too dark out, so we're not too scared.
Yeah.
But
a nice sunset time.
I couldn't find like the specific grave that they were talking about, that like with the trees changing after you visit it. But I want to try to find like a name or a grave or something to know what one it is. I'm thinking on a lot of the videos I saw, there was one grave that was in pretty much all the videos that had a little like Mickey Mouse statue thing next to it. And I'm thinking it was probably that one. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see on one of our full moon ghost hunts that we do.
I feel like anything like in the woods is just too scary.
Yeah, woods creep me out for sure.
I can't. Oof. I've heard like some people say that cemeteries shouldn't be haunted because that's like their final resting place and they've moved on. But it also makes the most sense to me that it would be.
I'm sure like a lot of them haven't moved on.
We'll see.
We'll let you guys know if anything happens.
All right. Thanks, girlies and ghoulies, for joining us. Those were some seriously spooky tales.
But hopefully not too scary, because we want you to join us again next week when we'll be swapping stories about cryptids.
Trust me, you don't want to miss it. We're on Patreon, so follow us on Patreon for $5 a month. You'll have access to all episodes 1 week early, behind-the-scenes footage, our live full moon ghost hunts during every full moon of the month, our Haunted Doll segment, Tarot Tuesdays, where we do readings and share some ghost stories, and automatic entries into a monthly Girly Ghost Tales giveaway.
So make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and please email us your ghost stories and any paranormal stories, anything spooky, at girlyghosttales@gmail.com. New episodes release every Friday at 7 p.m.
Until next time, and remember, if you hear a whisper in the dark, it's probably just us.
But just in case, keep your lights on and your doors locked. Remember, the veil is always thinner than you think.
Good night.
Good night.